and slander another man's character or their integrity or their personality. You don't slander people. Amen. This is a big one in the church and outside of the church. Amen. If you've never seen them do something, don't believe a lie against that person.
Amen. Amen.
I remember a couple of years ago, I'm not going to mention any names. Man used to come to this church, him and his wife, good people. Talked to him yesterday, matter of fact. Had a good conversation with him. Some things came out against him. And I said to the person who told me, I will not slander that man's name nor his character nor defame him in any way because I don't know that to be true. And until God reveals it, it's a lie.
That's right.
And I never said nothing else about it. Come to find out it was true. But it was months down the road, and guess who told me it was true? He did. And I said, brother, I knew about that a long time ago, and I have been praying for you. And I said, have you told your other part of your family? No, not yet. Then you need to go tell them. You see what I'm talking about? Slander, lying, false witness. And we as Christians love to hear that stuff. Gossip, phone calls, and text messaging and Facebooking. And And people ask me, say, do you know how to text message? I said, no. Do you have Facebook? No. Do you do anything on the computer? No. Why? Because I don't care about that garbage. Because let me tell you something. My first thought about anybody should be love, compassion, and mercy.
Amen.
Amen. All the time. Never ugliness. Amen. But we believe slander, lies, spreading gossip and false reports about someone which tend to destroy that person's reputation.
Amen.
I've seen from Texas to South Carolina, little churches shut down and big churches all across the country. You know what it started from? Gossip. A lie. It wasn't truth. It was falsehoods. I've seen it destroy marriages. In my own family. Lies that ain't true because it sounds good. Do you think Satan's not going to bring something that sounds sweet? Oh yeah. I had a feeling about that. I sure did. The way they've been acting lately, I kind of know that. Let me call sister or brother so-and-so. Did you hear? Yeah, I believe it. And it could be the biggest lie on the planet.
Yeah.
I remember a pastor when I was 18. I never forgot this. A church I was going to across town when I was a boy. On a Wednesday night, we had what they call a gossip circle. And in this gossip circle, the pastor and his wife would stand side by side, and then everybody in the church would make a big old circle. And the pastor would say something like to his wife, I stopped at Hardee's the other day and got me 2 honey buttermilk biscuits with a side of French fries and gravy and an iced tea. And he would whisper that in her ear. She would turn and whisper in the next person's ear, and the next, 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 and the next. And when it got back to the pastor, he had done ate 4 turkeys, 5 hams, and drunk 6 bottles of Coca-Cola. It changed just that quick. You see, that's what gossip and lies do. Well, the pastor said. The next person gets to, and the pastor said, and plus he also said this. And then and you defame and slander. The deacon said, the Sunday school teacher said, the Christian said, that good saint of God said. And it gets back. My neighbor said, the guy at the store said, every time it's done, we walk past that person, they ain't nothing but a liar. I'm staying away from them people. And they're looking, what's wrong with him? They don't know what's going on. You see what I'm talking about? Lies and slander. Marriages. My wife, I love this one. I was a young preacher at the time, and I was driving a cab over for a lady in Georgia, and her future husband had blonde hair down to here. He had the prettiest blonde hair on a man I'd ever seen. And me and him was standing side the road because they had their shop and everything right side of Major Road. And we was leaning over the gas tank, and I had my arm around him like this, and we was looking. the lady who led my wife to the Lord, driving down the road, that's Brother Ronnie hugging that woman. It got back in our church that I was running around on my time. It got back to me and her. I had been running around, sleeping around on her with some blonde-headed woman down on such and such highway. Now I said, now, Mike wasn't a bad-looking fella, but he had a big old beard, old Vietnam vet, long, beautiful blonde hair. But let me tell you something. I've been with her 36 and a half years. 36 and a half years, I have desired not to have anybody else but me and her. Our kids are grown, got grandbabies. Listen, I sure don't want to, and I wasn't running around then. But it got back to our church, and guess what the people in the church believe? Brother Ronnie's running around on Sister Sandy. And guess what they did? They voted me out of the church. And I said, are you kidding me? People who's supposed to love me.
Right.
We ate at each other's table.
Yep.
And they said I was running around my wife. Sandy knew exactly who it was when they told her. She said, that was Mike. You know it and I know it. So I've been accused of being a homosexual lover, I guess. You see what I'm talking about? But the church believed it, and it got around in the church, and the next thing you know, the deacons didn't even go to the pastor, my pastor. They got together and decided to null my membership. I said, you're no longer a member here. And I said, bless y'all's heart. A dear brother came to my door. He said, Brother Ronnie, I got something I want to say to you. I said, yeah, go ahead. He said, I heard you've been running around. I said, why are you listening to gossip and garbage?
Right.
You know me better than that. But he did. And I set him straight right from the heart. Gossip and garbage, slander, lying. It's all, see, God said this. Somebody's got to pay for it. Somebody's got to pay for it. How do you handle, Pastor, when people lie about somebody or slander them? Here's what I do. If you come to me and said somebody is doing this, this, and this, and this, I will say to you, hold on just a minute. Hold on just a minute. Hold on just a minute. Where's that? Come on, where are you at? Quit hiding. Quit hiding. Where are you at? Got to get my little friend out here. There we go. That's my buddy there. This one don't work. Somebody left this in here years ago. The battery's dead. Hold on. They did what, Sister Sandy? Hold on a minute, Sister Sandy. Hey, Sister So-and-so, how you doing today? You doing all right? Good. It's Pastor Ron. Hey, look here. Sister Sandy's got something she wants to say about you, and I don't want to hear about myself. Won't you come on over and meet with us? Sister Sandy's lying. You know what Sister? Oh, no, I didn't do that. I didn't do that. Wait a minute. Hold on. What did you say, Sister Sandy? Oh, she's backing down on that. She must not be telling the truth. She must be lying. That's how I handle it. That's why I don't talk to people on the phone. People don't call me. That's why people say, if you ever hear, Pastor Ron said this on the telephone. Pastor Ron said this on Facebook. Pastor Ron said this in text messaging. You can call that person a liar because I don't know nothing about none of that. My wife and kids will tell you I don't. I don't have a clue what Facebook is. I call it trash book. I don't know what text messaging is. I don't know how to even start to do it. Amen. I got three numbers on my phone. My son is number 4, my daughter's number 3, and my wife is number 2. That's the only numbers I know. Now ask me what their real number is. I couldn't tell you. 3, 4, 2. That's as far as it goes. And if I can't get them on those numbers, I'm just out of luck because I don't know what the number is, and I don't know how to operate it. I don't want to know. I'm old school. I believe that slander and lying and falsehood and thou shalt not bear a false witness against thy neighbor. God says it's wrong, and brother, it's wrong.
Amen.
It's just that simple. Love thy neighbor with all thy heart, with all thy mind, and all thy soul. Love him. God said it like this. I'm going to end with this. Come on, Miss Sandy. God says it like this. If they hated me, they're going to hate you. He said, pray for those who despitefully use you persecute you, bear all manner of false witness against you. He said, pray for them. Love your enemies. Feed them. Do whatever you have to do. Because son, so doing, you heap coals of love upon their head, and love covers a multitude of sin. When we love one another beyond compare with the love of Jesus Christ, we're forgiving. Brother Ronnie, do you hate anybody? Do you have any malice in your heart? No, not a bit. Not a bit. Have you ever been talked about? Oh my word, Pastor, you better believe I have. I've been running around on my wife for years. I've been lying for years. I've been drinking for years. I've been drugging for years. I've been stealing for years. You better believe I've had it. And you know what I do? I love you anyhow. I was telling somebody this morning, I had an old sergeant that I used to drive with a long time ago, an old E9, Sergeant Major. And he said, Brother Ronnie, he said, son, in your heart, as long as you know things are right between you and God, and you know you're right, and you know who you are in your heart, people are going to talk about you. Don't worry about it. He said, they had me for years. They did when I was in the Army. Other sergeants turned on me when I was in the Army. And I know that to be true because I was in the Army. And he says, as long as you know in your heart, and that's all that matters. Doesn't matter what people say. Amen. My mom used to have an old saying, well, if they're talking about me, they're letting somebody else rest. Yeah. Amen. And I said, that's right. What do you do when you see those people? You just love them. Mm-hmm. You just love them. That's all you can do. That's what God wants us to do. Don't get bogged down in it. But don't bend your ear to it either. If somebody calls you and wants to talk about somebody else and that's negative, if it's good talk, listen. Yeah, right, yeah. Amen. Good folks, amen. But if it's ugly talk, don't even listen. Just say, you know what? I'm praying for you and I don't want to hear that. You got something to say to that person, go say it to them. I don't want to hear it. And that stops that stuff. But when you bend your ear to it, they know you can bend your ear to it, then they're going to load it up on you. My ears aren't trash cans. I don't listen to that chunk. I love people. I don't want to know nothing about them. I don't care what they do. I've heard people say stuff about people who drink. But you see so-and-so out there drinking, and you was up there talking to them. What were you talking? They drinking. Was Jesus a friend of sinners?
Amen.
Amen.
What am I supposed to do? Be his friend of sinners. How can I win them to Christ and talk to them if I don't talk to them?
That's right.
So why are you getting mad at me if they're drinking? I don't care if they're drinking Jack Daniel liquor. I mean, I could care less.
That's right.
I'm to love them. Listen, sin, that's an attribute of sin. They're sinners, and they need Jesus, and Jesus loves them. And how can I talk to them if I don't hang around them? If I don't talk to them, or if I show myself in the church and in the Bible and say, well, no, I can't, they're sinners, and I can't be around them. They're drug dealers, they're prostitutes, they're homosexuals. I can't talk to them. That's a lie. God said that's the one I came to seek and to save, that which was lost.
Yeah, that's all right.
I'm glad that when I was in sin and drinking and acting like a fool and a preacher out of nonsense, they're saying, son, you're on your way to hell and Jesus loves you.
Amen.
Man,